We are joined today by House Senate Majority Leader Robert Stivers. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Glad to.
We got a lot to talk about because this election is just a couple weeks away, or a week away. A week away. That's crazy. So the next 4 years will look very different based on who voters choose next week. I kind of want to get your thoughts on that. If Matt Bevin should secure the governor's mansion for the next 4 years, what kinds of things do you hope to build on? Or I know the pension plan has got to be a top priority for you guys.
It does, and I think what you're going to see is a focus on really trying to further develop an environment that encourages economic development. I'll give you, for instance, you see what's happened in Eastern Kentucky. We've lost 7,000 jobs, and if you don't have that good economic base, it hurts everything, property values, school systems, and the such. So we've lagged a little bit behind from the things that the governor has done, and we have worked with him jointly. I think a good environment for creating jobs and opportunity has been set here, and I think you'll see more of that. How can we create jobs? Because if you have jobs, people are in a much better frame of mind, and everything that turns around it, the tax base, the dollars you have to spend, are just better off and better suited to take care of the public needs we need to do.
I know you probably thought 6 months ago that this pension thing was pretty close to being handled, and then it was until it wasn't. Where do you see that headed?
Well, here's something a lot of people don't realize. More money has been put into the pensions over the last 4 years than for many years. And a lot of people remember David Williams getting up on the Senate floor 12 years ago saying, we've got problems in our pension system, just a few years before he left. We've known this. We've tried to change the pensions to where they would be sustainable, so everybody who has earned one will continue to get one and not have to do catastrophic tax increases. So it's still going to have work. We're going to still have to put money into it. But I think where people misunderstand is we're not against people getting the pensions. We want them to. They've earned them. But it is not sustainable in the current forms that they are in.
So Andy Beshear, if elected governor, says gaming would be one of the ways to fund that. Why do you not think that is a good idea?
First of all, when we talk about economic environment, let's talk about building a house. You know, you go borrow money from the bank, so that helps the bank. You're going out and hiring a builder, and the builder's working and putting people together. You're building equity in your house. That's the type of thing you need when you look at a good economy and the synergies of everybody participating. Gaming is a zero-sum game. You win, I lose. If you're the house, you always win. I lose. And there's no synergies through that. And they're wanting to tax that, and it's extremely regressive. I'd ask you, do you go to the casinos much?
If I'm around a casino, yeah, I do. And the sports gambling thing is also intriguing to me.
Well, most people don't. I don't gamble like that because I know I'm going to lose. It's made for the house to win.
But isn't that then generating revenue for the state?
But you're quite regressive in that, and I don't think I want to promote that type of scenario that somebody other than the house is always going to lose to pay for things we need. I'd rather create the economy like I described, where people are moving money in the economy, stirring money, and creating economic opportunity for everybody.
So if Andy Beshear were to win, how would it work? Would you all be able to find a synergy together as Democrats and Republicans and reach across the aisle in instances?
Whomever the governor may be, I want them to be the most successful governor Kentucky has ever had. Because first and foremost, we're Kentuckians. There's going to be disagreements. I disagree with that. I've always been against casino gaming because I think it, as I've said, an economist will tell you this, it's a zero-sum game. One person wins, one person loses. Plus, look, when we had to take $175 million to put into the pension system, from what we call one-time monies we didn't spend, basically going into the savings account, gaming by itself in land-based casino gaming will not generate anywhere close to what we need to put in our pension systems. Nowhere close. $500 million a year is what we have to do above and beyond where we are. Gaming might generate, 175, 200 million. Where are you going to come with the other 300 million? You've got to change the economic dynamics and get a bigger tax base in this state to be able to deal with those pension issues.
So that's not something that happens overnight.
No.
How, what do you have, where do you get the money from then?
Well, we've done a lot of robbing Peter to pay Paul. As I just gave an example, there was 175 million left over in one account, which was the state health care plan, which all state employees were self-insured. The state puts in 80%. The employees put in 20%. We didn't have that many claims come in this past year, so we had a reserve, and so we took that to put it in the pensions to stabilize them, because that was the best use we had of those dollars at the time. So this next year, when we finish this 2-year cycle, I don't know if we're going to have that much. We'll have some natural growth. You hear CPIs, consumer price indexing. It will be there, probably another couple, $200, $300 million in natural growth, because we just have a growing population and things going on like that. We'll use some of that money, and we may have to look at other areas to get dollars, wherever it may be, to make sure we stabilize that pension.
I got to ask you again about comments that Damon Thayer made about Andy Beshear, should he be elected governor, that you guys simply just don't like him, so you don't want to work with him, which is basically, I'm paraphrasing, but he did say that essentially.
I saw Damon's comments, and gotta love Damon. He is very hard driven in what he does, and philosophically, I'm going to say I disagree with this pension being the solution. But there's other ways and other things we're going to have to work on, such as you asked where we might find some money. Let's look at our Justice Cabinet and what we're doing for incarceration costs. It's just booming, going out, our costs are. They're going out the roof, so if we could curb some of that, that might free up some dollars. Let's look at Medicaid. What we're spending in Medicaid, where you have so many people that are having opioid problems, even though they've dropped, the deaths from opioids have dropped 15% in the last couple of years, which is 10% above the national average, so the policies are working. So you hope that your policies that you institute and put in play will then create savings that you can then use those dollars in other areas. As to the relationships, I can get along with anybody as long as we just talk policy and keep it in the room, and with all due respect to the media, don't go out and play it in front of the papers and the news, because we're going to have differences, but we still have to find the common grounds.
I do also, you mentioned opioids. I've got to ask you about Purdue Pharma, and you want to begin an investigation kind of at the start of the year to find out why Kentucky maybe got a significantly lower amount than other states in the settlement from Purdue Pharma. But this is something that happened a few years back. Is there a reason why now it's important for you to bring that out? Several things. Purdue Pharma is declaring bankruptcy, which this was a structured settlement that Kentucky got. We paid a law firm $4.2 million for something now that we're not even going to get because it was over a 10-year period. Can we claw back some of that monies that we paid them? I understand there is a $500,000 cost sheet. It's part of the legalese that when you file a lawsuit, you have deposition costs, filing fees, production costs, expert witnesses that you pay for. We don't know what that $500,000 was for. And then you compare our 23, 24 million to what Oklahoma got from Purdue Pharma in a settlement. They got 260 million. That's over 10 times the amount we got for a population that's 500,000 persons smaller and have not had what I talked about earlier, the opioid-related deaths we had on a per capita basis. So why are we getting 23, 24 million and they're getting 260? And then in Ohio, you saw what they got from Purdue Pharma there. So it doesn't look good just looking at the disparity of the numbers, but it even looks worse when the law firm that did this litigation that settled just days before Governor Bevin took office then hires Jack Conway 6 months later. And of course, it was started by Greg Stumbo.
It was.
And he is obviously on the ballot for Attorney General.
And he said it was supposed to be $1 billion settlement. That was the first thing he said, $1 billion settlement. It wasn't even close to that.
So you're just trying to find out why. Would Kentuckians be able to even recoup that money in an investigation if you find out what happened?
Here's part of the way I think. If we look at that and they're taking bankruptcy, the settlement is an agreement. You and I reach a settlement. You agree to pay me X number of dollars. If you don't pay me, then you've not met your settlement agreement. Can we set aside that settlement and then go into the big national master settlement? These are things we need to see. And we need to know why they sealed the deposition of the Purdue Pharma CEO, that nobody got to see it. Those things, that will give us insight as to what happened. Do I know there will be any type of payout at the end? No, I don't. But I can guarantee there won't be unless we look into it.
So what do you think happens next week?
Well, are you asking me to be a prognosticator?
I am.
All right, you're asking me a prognosticator. Well, UK doesn't play. They got a week
bye
off.
week.
Bye week, so no game there.
But now we do play Michigan State, 1 versus 2.
Okay,
the very night of the election.
That's right. So which one are you asking me to prognosticate on?
Well, the governor's
Politics
race. Let's do
athletics?
that. Let's do politics.
I think it'll be a narrow victory for Governor Bevin. I think Daniel Cameron and Ryan Quarles are large winners on the night. I think closer, but still Allison Ball and Mike Harmon win their races and are reelected. And I think in an upset, Mike Adams probably beats Heather French Henry.
That would be.
It would be.
A significant.
And I say that because Heather is just a nice lady. Mike's a great guy, probably the most qualified guy running. And people think of her as the former Miss America, but you think that's 25 years ago. A lot of people weren't even alive then that are going to be going out to vote, and a lot of the 40s and unders were in their teens when
I will not
happened.
tell Nancy Cox you said that.
All right, don't tell me.
Because hers was 30 years ago, I think. My goodness.
And that's a big deal
Yeah.
because there's so much transient population, so many people moving in and out of the state, and that younger group of voters don't know who we are.
So there is seemingly a motivated group of voters in educators that have certainly expressed some anti-Bevin leanings. Are you worried about that at all?
Naturally have to be.
Yeah.
And truly, if this becomes a personality race, the governor may have troubles. But if you think of it from policy, and there's no doubt, the rhetoric that surrounded the issue hurt people. But if you look beyond that and you look at all the studies, funding has been greater. Funding is only a small portion of the problem by the TRS system. But what happened is people got aggravated over the rhetoric and they just shut it down. And I understand that. If I talk bad, if UK talks bad about U of L talks bad about UK, they don't have a lot of discussions and it becomes antagonistic. But the reality is everybody knows it's a problem. It's going to have to be dealt with. It doesn't matter who's governor, who's the Senate president, who's the Speaker of the House. It's got to be dealt with. And one, because it is a big fiscal drain on the state, and two, it was the commitment that people had made to them early on when they came in to whatever system, be it the teaching system, the state police and the hazardous duty system, the county system, the city system, or the traditional state system.
Senate President Robert Stivers, thank you for being here.
Glad to.
And I know the next week is going to be a long one and a fun one, and that's the exciting part of politics, right?
It is, and let me say this, you know, a lot of rhetoric out there. Nobody's nearly as bad as any of the commercials say they are.
Yeah, they do tend to get quite nasty by this time of the...
And there's no doubt they're all exaggerated to an extent on both sides.
Yeah. I think that's true.
It is.
All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
We really appreciate it.